Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the pages of the newspapers and we're in Punch.
Yes, so I have the major headline here. So former President Goodluck Jonathan on Tuesday said the nation was not getting accurate vote counts during elections due to the involvement of those he described as ghost voters. He also said it's better and more honourable for the chairman and other officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission to resign rather than yield to pressure to manipulate elections. So he made the assertion at the YIAGA Africa Reflection Conference on democratic elections in West Africa, which was held in Abuja. And according to him, he said the nation's electoral system will continue to grapple with the credibility crisis until there are men of integrity in INEC who will rather resign than succumb to pressure to rig polls. He said in Nigeria, you can't get an accurate count of votes because I believe that we have too many ghost voters. We must have credible people from what, the ex-chairman Atahiru Jega has said, that political leaders who are so domineering will pressure you to do what is wrong. You should be able to resign and leave. You should be able to resign and walk away. That if we don't have this kind of people, then we are in trouble. And I don't want any INEC official to say I was pressurized. If you are accepting to be chairman of INEC or to be a commissioner of INEC, then you should be ready to say, if I'm pressurized to do what is wrong, I'll take care of the democratic people and walk away. Then went ahead to talk about the last elections. In as much as we had the what's that thing that was introduced? Beavers. We still had issues, and we need to set that example. Give an example of Ghana, how their election was, very seamless.
As in,
they have been sustaining
and they learned from. They came to collect.
Yes, but they were able to make it. They are not as much as we are anyway, but we need to do better.
Okay, so I have the story of the APC dismisses anti-Ganduje plot. They said as the countdown to the National Executive Committee meeting of the APC begins, the leadership of the party has dismissed speculation that President Bola Tinubu may ask the national chairman of the APC, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, to resign. They said there is nothing like that. They said the NEC is a routine meeting and not an elective one. We have been trying to have it since September last year, but now it is confirmed. They said the agenda is to consider the project of the party for 2025 and also financial statement as required under the electoral law. They said, as usual, the El Rufai was supposed to be there, but he said he's not going to be around, and he's traveling, and that he's going to be in Cairo, and from there he's going to go and perform Hajj and all of that. But they said the planned gathering of the APC and party stakeholders will be Ganduje's first since he took over the leadership of the National Working Committee. So let's hope that all the things, the agenda they're going to look through, they're going to come out with something favorable.
Yeah. All right, so I have the story on the tax reforms and the fact that ASU is complaining. So I really wanted, because I'm a fan of the tax reform, the new tax that we want to pass, and it is currently going through Senate hearing. But there's been a public hearing that has been taking place, and I'm happy that people are engaging in it, because the president of ASU, that's Professor Oshodeke, went into the meeting and specified that they didn't like the fact that they are scrapping TET fund, and with facts that the over 90% of capital projects in state and federal universities since 2011 have been carried out by TET fund. So if you scrap what is providing a bit of physical and capital projects within the university, it will affect the quality of education that Nigerians are able to get. Made very valid. But the tax bill is to replace that educational tax with something called NEL fund, and they are of the opinion that the NEL fund is not comparable to what TET fund was doing for them. I think it's a conversation worth having. It's not. We're not going to disregard the highlights of the challenges that has been highlighted. Even though I know that I feel that the tax reform is a good one for the country. So we're looking forward to how the presidential steering committee on the tax would respond to ASU's demand. I would like him to come on our show to explain how ASU's demand is being correct. Maybe they're not as informed as they should be. Moving on to Daily Sun. Presidency disowns Osinbajo on IBB. Tackles ex-governor El Rufai. Says ex-military president never tormented Tinubu. In other news, federal government unveils minimum standard documents for senior secondary education. Then, Anambra Guba. With fanfare, Obiora Okonkwo submits APC nominations form. Promises to win primary main election. 10 killed, 3 injured in Damaturu, Maiduguri road crash. Your book full of lies. Good reference material for criminals. Vasta family hits IBB. This IBB book, we are going to still be studying the movie.
I'm telling you.
Alleged defamation, we've taken that story already. And who has what story here? Who has the injured or...
Better news, Jerry. The federal government has launched what they call the newly developed minimum standard for senior secondary schools development by the National Secondary School Education Commission. According to that, the Minister for Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, who was represented by one of the directors, Aja Binta Abdulkadri, the Director for Basic and Secondary Education, at an event where they flagged off the online Google-sponsored artificial intelligence in pedagogy training of 6,000 senior secondary school teachers in Abuja. He acknowledged that the AI that we are talking about is no longer futuristic. It is now our present reality, and that's where the way education should go. So the integration of AI into the pedagogy offers an unprecedented opportunity to enhance learning experiences, personalized education, and develop critical thinking skills among our students. And the goal is to prepare them for careers in technology-driven world, where AI literacy will be as fundamental as reading and writing.
Now, when I see my children's homework, I ask them, is it you that wrote this or is it AI that wrote it? Moving on to Vanguard.
Our generation was just basic. Can you read that right?
Can you read that right?
Now they're asking
how can you
children,
use, Moving on to Vanguard major headline, insecurity, how lack of surveillance tech aids criminals, terrorists. In other news, June 12 annulment, I'll challenge my prosecution by IBB, says Falano. US excludes UK, Nigeria, others from visa-free entry for 2025. I'll never discuss running for president in 2030. I've never discussed running for president in 2031 with anybody, says Ribadu. El Rufai hurt because he wasn't made minister. That's from presidency and Lagos Miranda. There's a twist to that Miranda story, but what does El Rufai have to say? Yes,
so the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, had said that the former Kaduna State Governor, Nasser El Rufai, was hurting for being left out of Tinubu's ministerial appointment. You know that they said he was initially nominated as a minister by the president, but while he was forming his cabinet, they said the Senate eventually screened him out. So we saw the interview that he had saying that it was not the Senate that rejected him, but it was the president himself that rejected him. But Onanuga is saying that although El Rufai had worked hard for the president's emergence, it was time for him to move on from the disappointment of not being made a minister. He says, and I quote, "I will pity former Kaduna State Governor Malam El Rufai. He feels hurt. He was not made a minister, but I think it's time for him to move on. You cannot continue to behave like a child, as if someone stole his bread and things like that." And they are crying over spilled milk. And he said it's not out of place for him to feel aggrieved, having worked hard for the election of the president. But Haba, it's time to just move.
I have a question.
On.
Don't ask the question. Let's take
intel yesterday about what actually happened from somebody close to.
But you cannot share it on TV.
So
the only question is that those people asking Natasha to be a bigger person, to lobby, can they help me to talk to Bayo Onanuga that some things are not addressed?
They don't address it publicly.
Yes, I have the Miranda story. So Miranda, according to our own camp, might step down. But since the last DSS, whatever they had in the house had gone on an indefinite, that's February 17, they had gone on an indefinite break. And so they just...
But they'll be collecting definite salary.
36 out of the 40 members had given her a vote of confidence. And after that, they went on an indefinite break. But behind the scene, according to some quarters, the APC Congress have been trying to solve this issue within their assembly.
It's a zoning thing now.
To a zoning. So zoning had presented the Lagos West speaker who was ousted, and so they're looking to Lagos West to bring in a new speaker to to balance things out. So they penned down Honourable Setonji David from Badagry, the Honourable Temitope Adewale from Ifakojaye, Honourable Kehinde Joseph from Adimosho 1, Adedemola Kasumu from Ikeja, Honourable Lukman Olumo.
What is paining me is there's no woman in all this list.
I want to read it finish. It's not let me finish. Wale Raouf Suleiman from Mushin, Nureni Akinsoya from Mushin, Surajudeen Tijani from Ojotu, no woman. But they are saying Lagos West. What about zoning to another gender?
Exactly,
Zoning,
which is extremely
zoning
important.
Is important, but if finally zone reach our side now, they want to zone it back.
That's what we can take on front page review for today. The views expressed by, let me not do the disclaimer.
Exclusively my views. Exclusively
We'll
my.
take a break. When we return, we go into our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.